Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sherry, Ladyfish Loot, and today's video is going to be what sold for the month of March on eBay. I had a total of 6 sales. I will tell you that my store was on time away for over 2 weeks during the month of March. I took a visit down to Missouri to visit family. Hi Kim, hi Bill, hi Rick. And so I wasn't around to make sales. So I had 6 sales. It's going to be a relatively fast video. So we're going to get started. But before we do that, I want to show you my mug. I like always showing, this is my chamomile tea that I'm having this evening while I make my video. TV marathons are my cardio. And the reason I'm showing you this mug is because I have been a complete TV slug for the past 2 weeks. I have done absolutely nothing on eBay since I got home from my visit down to Missouri to see my family. I have been doing things with family and friends, my grandchildren, and I have been watching like almost nonstop Hacks on HBO. If you haven't seen it, it is hysterical. It is with Jean Smart, and I can't think of the other gal's name. But those two together, their chemistry is just amazing. They're so funny. It's a cleverly written show, and it's hysterical. So I have been spending a lot of time sitting in my chair watching Hacks for the last 2 weeks. And I also watched The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow. And that's a pretty cool show because it started in 2005. They took a 9-year hiatus and they did the next season in 2014. And then they did it again in they just released it in 2026. So those are two great comedy shows if you're interested in something like that to watch. So, but anyway, this is me not feeling bad about being a complete TV slug for the last 2 weeks. Now, I did list one thing yesterday, woohoo! But I'm hoping tomorrow's Monday, start of a new week, work week, and I'm going to get back into it. I just needed that time to myself, I guess, to just kind of like chill my brain out. I don't know. Anyway, let's get started. I had 6 sales, as I said, and the very first one was a Peter Millar Montreux quarter zip pullover shirt. I paid $3.59 for this item. It sold for $25, and the buyer was all in for $37.35, and I had a total profit of $20.48. If I didn't mention, I did buy this at a thrift store, and I know that in the past I said I wasn't going to do the exact numbers. Listen, I said in my other video where I said I wasn't going to do all these exact numbers, exact cents. I am a former bank teller. My brain does not work in rounding up or rounding down. It just doesn't. So you're just going to have to bear with me. If that bothers you, I am very sorry. But I am going to have to be exact with my numbers. Okay? So that took care of that. The next item was a famous artist signature collage t-shirt. It had the names of all these different artists on it. It was really kind of cool. And I think it was facsimile signatures, if I remember right. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, I paid $2.10 for this t-shirt at a living estate sale. And I had it listed for $29.99. That is what the buyer paid for it. And they were all in for $38.54. And I made a total profit of $23.81 on that t-shirt. The next item I sold was an Anne Marie Murray Friends Forever trinket box, 2 peas in a pod. And it was, had cutest little ladybugs on the side of it. And it was a vintage item. This is free. It was something that came from my own personal collection. And I had it listed for $49.99. And it sold for $40. And the buyer was all in for $50.87. My total profit on that was $35.74. The next item I sold was a Steve Jackson Games t-shirt, size extra large. I'm all I'm going to say about that t-shirt, but I will tell you it did go to Japan, which was pretty cool. I had it listed for $29.99 and she offered $25. I happily accepted it because I know they have additional charges. They have additional international fees charges, you know, to get this to them. I guarantee she paid over $50 for this t-shirt, but she paid $25 for it to me, and they were all into me for $31.99. And when I say that like that, that's because that is what eBay bases my final value fees on, is what the all-in was for me. So they don't charge me fees on the additional international fees that it takes to ship them overseas. This t-shirt I was glad to get rid of it. It was listed for over 3 years. And for some strange reason, I don't have a total profit on this piece of paper. And I'm not going to get up and go to my calculator and figure it out because that would be annoying to you. The next item I sold was a Paul McCartney band concert raglan t-shirt. It was from 2002. It was a size large. The tour, I think, was back in the USA, and it was, of course, a vintage item. I paid $2.10 for this t-shirt. I also bought this at the Living Estate sale. And I had it listed for $29.99. That is what the buyer paid for it. And they were all in for $40.03. And I had a total profit of $23.51. The last item I sold was a Dread Clampett DBC pocket t-shirt. It had a surfer, a surfboard. These are just different keywords that I used. Brian Hand was the name of the artist. It was from 2004, so it was vintage. And I paid $4.81 for this at it was at a thrift store. I had it listed for $29.99. That is what the buyer paid. They were all in for $40.03. And my profit on this item was $20.60. Now, I will tell you about this item. I did receive a message from the buyer, and they were upset that there was a tiny, faint stain on the front of the shirt. Now, in my listing, I clearly disclosed that there were spots and stains on this shirt. It is a white shirt. It had yellowed from age. I know I put that in the listing as well. I don't hide anything from my buyers. I don't want problems. I want happy customers. So I did disclose the stain. I put spot/stain on shirt. So I said spots. I did plural. So this guy knew that this was not in perfect condition. How can it be? It's a vintage item that people have worn. But anyway, he was upset and he contacted me and said he wanted his money back. Again, I do not offer returns. I do now. I will tell you that. I'll go ahead and clue you in on that right now. I did go ahead and start offering 30-day returns on all my items, but the buyer pays for the return shipping label. You know, I want to give my buyers peace of mind because, listen, regardless, I will always make my customer happy. That's just how I operate. So I did start doing that on my listings, and I'm happy that I did that. But when this was purchased, I was not accepting returns. And eBay would have stood by me on this because I had disclosed it in my listing that there were spots and stains on the shirt. I had disclosed, I had taken pictures. You could clearly see the condition of this t-shirt. And, you know, they would have sided with me. But I, again, do not want an unhappy customer. So I contacted him back. I said, no problem. No worries at all. I said, just, and I will pay for the return shipping, which I did. I said, here, I'm going to send you a label. You know, you have to buy it, print it out, but I will be charged for it. Don't worry about it. So I was going to take it back at my expense and I was going to refund him entirely. He contacts me like 2 days later and was getting kind of spicy about it. He's like, you know, there clearly was a spot that you didn't disclose, you didn't take a picture, and I appreciate that you're going to take it back because you should, basically is what he said. You know, people, I don't know what's wrong with the world today. I don't know where just gentle kindness went. I don't understand it. I was accommodating this person, you know. So I sent him another message and I said, I thought about it. I thought about it for about an hour because I wasn't going to really respond because I told him what he needed to do. I was going to give you your money back. I'm going to pay for the return shipping, dude. All you got to do is go to the post office and put it in your mailbox. I don't care. Just get it back to me. So I thought about it for like an hour. And I thought, you know what? Again, I don't want unhappy customers. I don't want them to be inconvenienced. So I sent him a message and I said, listen, customer service is of the utmost importance to me. I want you to be happy. So let's do this. Keep the t-shirt and I will fully refund your money. But you cannot print out that shipping label because that's going to charge me again. So just let me know how you want to. Oh no, okay, I said that wrong. Okay, because it had been 3 days after I told him that you had to print out the shipping label. I wanted to make sure he hadn't done it yet. So I sent him a message and I said, I want you to be happy. I want my customers to be happy, but I want to make sure you haven't printed out this label. If you haven't, go ahead and keep the t-shirt and I will fully refund your money. But please let me know that I need to know if you've done this already. And he's never gotten back to me. So I don't know if he's going to follow through with this, if he's just decided he got out of his system whatever he needed to get out, or he kind of realized he's being a bit unreasonable. But I'm still waiting for the package to be returned to me, and that's been almost 2 weeks now. So, because I've been home 2 weeks, yeah, because I shipped it out. Oh no, wait, I shipped it out the day I got back from my sister's. He got it like 3 days later. So it's going on 2 weeks, let's put it that way. So we'll see if he returns it. But that's just how weird people can be sometimes with eBay and returns and customer satisfaction. You know, I know there's some buyers that would have said, tough luck, man. I don't want to offer returns. You know, eBay will side with me on this. It's a vintage t-shirt. Sorry, but no, that's not how I operate. Okay, anyway, back to this. Long story short, I guess I'll let you know next video if he returned it or not. If I remember to do that. Alrighty, so anyway, 6 items were sold. It was a total of $238.81. My selling costs were $67.28. And of course, that is made up of the shipping that I had to pay. I always collect shipping. I've said this in previous videos. I never, ever do free shipping. My customers always pay for their shipping. So I collected it. That was part of the $238.81. The selling costs were $67.28. And of that, the final value fees were $32.71, and my shipping was $34.57, just to give you an idea. eBay, on my behalf, collects sales tax, so that was taken out at $12.90. My cost of goods was $15.60. That was pretty good, I thought. Pretty low cost of goods. And my net was $143.03, and that's basically $34.05 a week. And my average selling price was $37.65. Again, I am sorry if that's way too many numbers, and I'll maybe try and streamline it a little better in the future, but going forward, people, I have to be exact. I'm sorry. I just cannot round up or round down. So anyway, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I appreciate you spending this time with me today, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.